Good morning and welcome to the weekend review. This is the Saturday, it's the weekend, and it is 26th of March 2022. So it's almost around the corner, it's almost end month. So if you're joining me, you're so welcome. This is AFarmers weekend in review, where we'll be reviewing some of the topic trends that really took headlines during the week. And it's only not just topic, but those topics that really trended, and it was just in agriculture, not any other topic. So this week or the weekend, today alone, and I'll be taking through some of the things that really happened. So I'll be joined later by Mr. Noah if things will be okay, but for now let me just start by making sure that you know what really or what passed when you were not keen. Kwa hivyo let's join together, let's go together in this topic of weekend review, where we'll be reviewing some of the topics, some of the trending topics that really took us by headlines. Kwa hivyo when you are talking about trending, or we are talking about agriculture, then there are so many things that we are putting in consideration. The fact that agriculture is a very wide topic. There are many things that have been happening. Farmers, it's the season that farmers are planting. It's a season that we have been expecting so much. It's a season that we have been trying to really pray that the rains are here, and I think most part of the country, rain is here already. The rains, I think last night it rained around here in Kitengela, so I think Kitengela was the last to receive rains, because other counties had already started receiving rains. Farmers are already in their farms and all that. For now, I think those who are waiting for the rain, now it is the right time. This is the planting rains, because it's almost April. This is the time farmers are going to their farms and they're going to plant. So those who do not have inputs, I think most of the farmers will be forced to go to the farms without using the inputs, because the expense at which 50 kg bag of fertilizer goes for around 7,000, 6,500, 6,000. Some part of the country that are a bit lucky, it's going for around 6,000, and that's not even lucky enough, because 6,000 is still a lot, comparing the fact that the fertilizer used to go for around 2,500, 2,800. It came to 3,000. Now if they have to spend around 3,000 more on the same commodity, then it's a bit hard for them. So most farmers have just opted to plant without fertilizers, because they can't afford fertilizer. Fertilizer is just too expensive. They can't afford the fertilizer. They can't afford other farm inputs. So it's too expensive for them, and they are going it the raw way. The raw way is that they're just going to use they're just going to plant the seeds without any spices. By spices I mean fertilizer or pesticide, those things, because they're just very, very expensive, and the farmers cannot afford. For the other countries, the counties, I mean, other counties, their county government, since it was devolved down, some county governments are really trying to help their farmers. It was the previous week, not last week, previous one, before last week, the Ministry of Agriculture asked farmers what they're going through so that they can help them out. But is there any impact in your region that you have seen, that after airing out your view, the government has now come out to rescue you? For now, is there anyone in this country that has been rescued by the fact that they aired out their views, their frustration concerning how fertilizer prices is a bit too high for them, how the farm inputs in general is a bit too high and they cannot afford, how they cannot even get the subsidized fertilizer? Is that how in general they are not really going to be helped if they are not going to go an extra mile in their pocket? Because just saying that I don't have fertilizer to the Ministry of Agriculture doesn't mean that they are going to provide me with the fertilizer. Saying that I cannot afford seeds does not mean that if the Ministry of Agriculture is going to give me seeds. So the fact that we can air out our views and frustration and whatever we feel is very different from the fact that it will be done. So if you're a farmer out there, and you can do something, then don't wait for the government to come for your rescue. Just do it. If you cannot do it, then there'll be consequences. The consequences maybe you'll be unable to harvest anything because maybe you didn't even plant. You are waiting for the government to provide seeds. You are waiting for the government to provide fertilizers. You're waiting for the government to at least give you any farm input that you can be able to use. But now that they have not been able to do that, are you still waiting for the government to provide you for that? So this conversation will take us through the other counties that have really struggled, and the county government has really tried. We'll also be looking at those county government according to control of budgets. There are those counties that were ranked that have the worst performing. So I don't know if you feel that your county has really performed well now that you're heading to general election. We are almost there. 3 months is nothing, because in the next 3 months, 4 months we'll be there. In August we'll be having the general election. Right now it is March 26th. It means that it's only 4 days to April. That means that if you're in April, then it's just April, May, June, July, then we are in the election. But between now and the election, things are going to skyrocket. The prices of food is going to even higher. Now that the war between Ukraine and Russia has not even gotten a very solid solution, then we're still going to struggle because the raw materials were getting from there. So we as farmers in other countries, we are still going to struggle while we wait for everything to cool down, for the export and imports to resume back to normal, for the economy to at least gain stability. All that will be waiting as we do something. For now, let's talk about county government of Trans Nzoia, because the county government of Trans Nzoia has really tried to boost farmers. And in Trans Nzoia, 25 motorbikes has been procured by the sector of agricultural sector to make sure that the extensional officers reach these people in more affordable way, because 25 motorbikes in a county, that means that at least a ward will have one motorbike, or a ward will have around two motorbikes will be served by around one motorbike. For now, because the extension officers been the issue back in the days when they were they cannot access this, or the farmers cannot access their services because some of these extension officers, they're willing to come, but they cannot, the county government cannot finance them. For now, the government of Trans Nzoia has just said, okay, we are going to get 25 motorbikes so that the county, each ward will at least have one extension officer that will be able to reach the farmer. The function of the extension officer is to make sure that the farmer is doing the right thing. The farmer is doing the right thing in a sense that they are planting the right seeds, they are weeding in time, they are making sure that wherever there is a pesticide outbreak, they are there for them. For now, the county government has already covered that for the county of Trans Nzoia. They'll be getting these extensional services at a very adequately, because the motorbike can access those regions that cars cannot. For the time being, they'll be using the motorbikes because the land is rugged and sometimes the roads are not really well, especially when it's raining. The roads are impassable in most regions. So the motorbikes will go a long way to boost agriculture, because having an extensional officer who is just a call away, it's a major boost. An extension officer who can just be called wherever there's a problem, wherever there's an issue, that one will go a very long way to make sure that the farmers, as much as they are going through this crisis that every farmer is going through, they'll be able to make sure that at least they get a service. At least they get to know what they're supposed to do. At least they get to get the services provided by the government, and that will be a very, very major boost. Remember also that the field extensional officer, apart from the county government of Trans Nzoia providing the field extension officer. The county government has also provided 5,626 bags to be distributed to farmers, because most of the farmers, actually these 5,626 bags is not really enough for farmers, but again, it will be for those farmers who are willing to do the farming activity, but they are unable to do that. It is going to be to those farmers who really cannot afford this farming, these seeds, because there are those farmers who have the land, but again, they do not have accessibility to quality seeds. And they can use this compost manure. They can use the compost manure, the one that have just manufactured in their home, but again, they cannot access it. So the 5,626 bags will go a very long way to boost agriculture in Trans Nzoia. So it's a major boost, and I wish other counties can just emulate the same and then help those farmers, because sometimes the farmers, it's never about the farmers not wanting to invest in agriculture, but it's about the farmer being there and also being provided for. It's good for their mental health, it's good for their just physical health, because every time there's a boost, that means there's a decrease in farm input. Whenever there's a farm input that has been provided, that means that the farmer can be able to now focus on something else. The farmer can be able to, instead of buying fertilizer at the same time buying seeds, now they can just focus on, okay, let's focus on fertilizer, because the seeds has been provided already. It's a very, very major boost for that matter. Moving on, we are going to the county, another county that has been all around. The tobacco farmers in Migori now are opting for something else. They are opting to profitable beans. Like, there reaches a time back in western region, there was a time that farmers now decided they're not going to plant sugarcane, simply because they are planting sugarcane and then it stays long in the shambas. No one is coming to get them. The sugar companies, because you realize that the sugarcane that is used to make sugar is not the same as other sugarcane. So this one is specifically for making sugar. So you cannot even sell to anything, just anyone. And it is just acres and acres of land. Even if you sell to someone, it means that they have to use it to make sugar. So it becomes a bit awkward when you don't have to, when you have to sell it to someone else just for animal feeds and all that. There was a time that farmers could just sell them to other neighbors so that it just be used as animal feeds. And this is sugarcane that they have invested. This is sugarcane that they were hoping to get profits. It takes too long, and when it reaches a time when it is almost 1.5 years, it starts losing its quality. For now, when the company comes to get the sugarcane, they will not give you the same price as they would have given you when it was just ready. But now it has overstayed in the garden, it has overstayed in the shamba, so it has reduced in its quality. The company will give you less, or they will not give you anything. Actually, they will probably not even take it. So time reaches that farmer now decided, now we are not going to do this. Now they started opting for other crops to get profits. That's what is happening to Migori tobacco farmers. Now they have decided to shift to beans. The beans are very profitable, so they have decided that they are no longer going to stand there and just watch how things are going with no profits and all that. So they have decided, we are not going to stand here and just continue planting tobacco when we can plant beans. It's doing well, and then we are going to get a lot of profits. Let's do this. Now they are taking that as a challenge, growing and venturing into other. They are growing and venturing into other sector such as beans so that they can just get profits. And it happens that when these people start shifting, there will always be a deficit because now the production has reduced. But can we really blame them when it comes to such matters? Because we cannot, as a farmer, even you yourself as a farmer, before you raise a finger on them, have you asked, am I supposed to grow a crop that cannot give me profit? If you can grow a profit, if you can grow a crop that is not giving you profit and you're comfortable, then just know you are not doing it for business. But someone who is doing something that is not consumable, something like sugarcane, I cannot consume sugarcane directly. Even if I consume, I can only consume a very small amount, like 1 or 2, and I cannot even do every day. Something like tobacco, yes, you can sell it around and then they use it naturally. But again, how many people are willing to get that one? So is those crops that requires processing before it comes back to the final consumer, it's very hard because you find out that these crops cannot be used directly. They can be used directly, but in very small amount. You cannot sell sugarcane to someone just to chew sugarcane, and it's around 10 acres. That's not even reasonable. You cannot sell 10 acres for people to chew. 10 acres is meant to be taken to the factory, or even 5, or even 1 acre, because 1 acre is just large. And this type of sugarcane also is not that very sweet. There's that one sugarcane that it's very sweet and people can chew it and just it's comfortable. But this one is not that sweet. It's very different. The sugarcane for making sugar is very different compared to the sugarcane that we chew along the road. So you cannot be taking that. You cannot be consuming that sugarcane that is meant to manufacture sugar. At the same time, you want the same profit. That's not even possible. For the time, you can only plant or you can only invest in sugarcane that you will get money. For now, that one will mean you are going to shift. You're going to shift from this production to the other production. You're going to shift from production of the sugarcane that is supposed to be manufacturing sugar to the one that people just chew. And in that sense, you are not going to produce the same amount. You are just going to produce a small amount because you cannot produce 10 acres and then expect that people will just chew. You cannot. That will be unreasonable unless you're going to sell it to the factory, because even as a farmer, you want to clear everything in your shamba so that you prepare for the next season. So just as the Migori tobacco farmers are doing, it is happening everywhere, and it's happening because the farmers are realizing that they are doing it, but again, they're not gaining profits. If a farmer realizes that they are not gaining profits, it becomes so hard for them to continue investing in the particular crop. So it's very difficult to continue investing in something that you are not getting back. You are not feeling the profit. You are not feeling how it's supposed to. You are not getting back what you have invested in that farm. For the time, you will opt for something else. You'll opt even not to plant. There's those farmers who back in Western, they just decided we are not going to plant anything. Those sugarcane, we are stopping it. Like, we have to stop. We are not doing this anymore. So they stopped doing that. And those farmers, the other farmers just shifted. And they also continued. But now, with time, they'll be shifting all of them. And then what happens? Because we need production, then we'll have to need export. I mean import the sugarcane oil. We could have just invested in these farmers and then they could plant. We could invest in this farmer by providing these farm inputs. We could even reduce the prices of the farm inputs before so that they can access them. But if you're not doing that, all farmers will be shifting to other things that are more profitable to them than to the rest of the country. On that note, you will find out that This one, those, if they start providing for things that really benefit them and not benefit the country, the economy will be impacted, and it will not be impacted in the most positive way. Now that will be a problem. That will be a blow to the economy. But do we have to reach there so that we start scrambling and knowing what to do now that we start now advising farmer to invest more on sugarcane, on tobacco? Do we have to reach there where we could have time? When you have time right now, that we can just say, okay, let's do this. We don't want to import sugar. We don't want to import sugarcane, for that matter. We don't want to import tobacco so that can be processed. Let's impact our farmers. Let's just empower our farmers so that they can grow them, and then we can get cheaply, and then the transport transport will be affordable to take them to the factory. But right now we are not thinking in that direction. Right now every farmer is thinking on the direction that they are going to invest in something that they can get back. So we'll be having more of this when we come back. I'm going to take a very short break. When I come back, we'll be looking at West Pokot, where they have decided to distribute maize seeds to around 20 wards, just to make sure that at least every farmer has something at the end of their harvest season. I'm Dana Mdega, and this is Weekend Review.
Pesticides can be very harmful to humans and environment if they're not properly handled. Safe handling of pesticides involves proper selection and careful handling during mixing and application. However, as useful as they are, they're inherently toxic. Here are some ways you can handle pesticides for your own safety, your farms, and the people around you.
We are looking at reduced accumulation of obsolete pest control products in the country as one. We are also looking at the associated conservation of environment, and also protection, conservation of beneficial insects such as pollinators and predators, which are used to control other pests.
Before you use the pesticide, read the label and leaflet carefully. Measure the required quantity of pesticide.
You have to have adequate clean water for the mixing. Adequate meaning enough to dilute the pesticide, and also enough to do the cleaning of the equipment and yourself after the application. During the mixing process, you are also supposed to be wearing your personal protective equipment, or PPE, and this is to avoid exposure to the pesticides.
Applicators and handlers need to wear appropriate personal protective equipment specified on pesticide product labels by pictogram. In hot and humid climates, the wearing of additional protective clothing may be uncomfortable, and pesticides should therefore be applied during the cooler hours of the day. Care should be taken not to touch any part of the body with gloves while handling pesticides. Avoid spillage and prepare spray fluid in well-ventilated area. Do not eat, drink, or smoke when handling pesticides. Check the spray equipment before use for any leakages and accurate delivery of spray solution. The nozzle should be directed to the side, away from the body. This prevents applicators walking into the spray cloud or recently sprayed foliage. Inspect equipment regularly for leaks. Leaking equipment should be repaired, and the skin should be washed after any accidental contamination. While applying pesticides, be sure to follow application instructions precisely. More is not better. Unnecessary and/or incorrect application can result in exceedance of maximum residue levels, which can make the produce unmarketable.
All consumers want to eat safe food. So whenever there is an issue of what we call exceedance of pesticides, or what we call maximum residual levels of a particular pesticide, then what happens is that the market becomes very concerned because they want to assure their consumers that they are eating safe food, which basically is healthy. And then what they will do is that they are going to discontinue the supply of the products that you're exporting.
In contrast, responsible and correct pesticide use following good agricultural practices protects the crop and keeps residues within acceptable limits required for sale. Incorrect application of pesticides can damage the crops and have a negative effect on human health and the environment.
The vision is basically to ensure that we can bring as many farmers to understand the importance of safe use of pesticides, to understand the institutions that are involved in regulation of pesticides, to understand that pesticides, when used well, will support production or increase production, and more importantly, the risks associated to the environment from pesticides.
Once you're finished applying the pesticides on target crops, empty the spray tank completely after spraying. Spray any remaining spray mix on the ground of the treated crop. Triple rinse and puncture the empty pesticide containers and place this in a safe place for disposal. Ask your supplier or agro dealer about a collection scheme. Clean the spray equipment immediately after use. Decontaminate protective clothing and footwear through following proper laundering or cleaning instructions. Wash the hands and body thoroughly with soap water. A sprayed field must be marked and unauthorized entry should be prevented. In case of suspected poisoning, please refer to the label for instructions and call the poison center on toll-free line indicated on the label. Report the specific pesticide used. Mishandling pesticides could have adverse effects on not only plants but also humans and the environment. Proper care and instructions should be adhered to always. Farmers are advised to attend available trainings on good agricultural practices and pesticide use within their counties to ensure safety while handling pesticides. Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
Welcome back to Week in Review. This is Diana Mdega, and this is 26th of March, only 4 days to the end of the month. And today in Week in Review, we are reviewing some of the development that have been done by various county governments just to ensure that farmers are really going to have something by the end of the season. I don't know, you can communicate to me through our other social media handles. Is your county doing anything about this planting season? Do they have anything in store for you? Have they communicated to you via the extensional officers? Have they communicated to you via those barazas? Are they saying something, the county government that is where you are located? Have they done anything like giving you farm inputs that are reduced rate, or giving you seeds, or at least just making sure that you know what type of seeds to plant? I don't know if the county government is doing anything for you, so you can communicate to us through our social media handles. AFarmers Media, that is in Instagram; AFarmers Media, that is AFarmers Media _ that is in Twitter, and in Facebook. You can come down there to the comment section and just talk to us as the county government in your area. In your region. You have 47 counties, so is the county government in your region, just like Trans Nzoia, just like West Pokot, is other counties emulating the same and also trying to do something for the farmers? You can talk to us by the comment section and also those Instagram handles and Twitter, AFarmers Media. There in YouTube also, we are very live, so you can catch us there, and also make sure that the conversation keeps going. For the time being, let's continue with the trends in agriculture. And in West Pokot, the county government of West Pokot has distributed maize seeds. That is 381 tons. 381 tons is equivalent to 381,000 kilograms. That is to various counties, and they have ensured that they're going to ensure that all the 20 wards in West Pokot is going to get, like, those farmers are going to get at least a bag of maize that is for 12 kgs. So it will not be enough for all farmers in the region or the all farmers in the county. There are those who can really get themselves, there are those who can afford. But what about those farmers who cannot really afford that a bag of maize, that 2 kg of maize seed that they can plant and also have something at the end of the harvest season? The county government of West Pokot is really overworking. It's really overworking by the fact that just like last month they were providing chicks. They improved hybrid. They improved the kienyeji chicks to farmers so that they can rear them. It's just that the county government is willing to do something for the people, so that at the end of the day, these people can just fend for themselves. These people can just depend on themselves, rather than having to cry every other time, serikali saidia, serikali saidia. This slogan is no longer going to work in the county government of West Pokot, due to the fact that the county government is willing to go an extra mile just to make sure that farmers are comfortable, that farmers are able to do something, that farmers are able to just make their families get something to eat. At the end of the day, it's all about family. At the end of the day, it comes down to family, because even if they have to go everywhere, it has to come back to the fact that they have to find something and then feed their families. It has to go round and round and then come back to the family. So the county government of West Pokot has ensured that farmers will have something. All the 20 wards will at least, the 20 words, they have 20 words. So every word, it is the work of the chief and also the assistant chief, and also going down to the barazas that in their place they call something like a village elder, and then there's that nyumba kumi. So the introduction of nyumba kumi was basically to make sure that we can identify problems amongst ourselves. Nyumba kumi is an initiative that was started some time back, just to ensure that you know what is happening to the next person. 10 households under one person, and then this person is responsible to make sure that these people are okay. Someone was come in someone who has gone out, someone has a sick person, and then someone has a son that has been chased out of school. This Nyumba Kumi initiative initially was like any other initiative that starts. It was very, it wasn't welcomed at all. But with time, people embraced it. People now can do it very effectively. Sometimes when there are funerals in these villages, people just say, okay, let's go back to Nyumba Kumi. Nyumba Kumi has contributed to this amount, and then the other Nyumba Kumi. So by this devolvement, we can really tell someone cannot really afford. But how many are willing to really let go of when it comes to now getting this seed? Am I going to accept that I can really afford when the economy is this bad? Am I really going to really go down and say, okay, let someone else get? I can afford myself. So the Nyumba Kumi is to make sure that those people who are really vulnerable, those people who cannot really get this, and even if they are going to get this, are they going to plant? That's another thing. Just giving someone seeds does not mean they are going to plant. Some of them even sell. I've seen people getting things for free, and then they're going to sell it. So you find out that you have been given seeds to plant, but at the same time you are thinking, what if I sell these seeds? Then I can just get something that I can fend my family for the time being. Those people, that do not even think beyond today. So you will find out that this farmer is not going to go an extra mile. You want the county government to give you seeds. You want the county government again to come and also plow your land. You want the county government to come and weed. No. You cannot be done for everything. You are also supposed to go an extra mile. If they are going to provide seeds, then you can go an extra mile and then try to provide something for yourself, like the farm input, like fertilizer or the compost manure, because most farmers are not going to afford they are not going to have the luxury of getting the fertilizer because of its price. But again, it's your duty as a farmer, it's your duty as the head of the family, it's your duty to make sure that you are going to plow the land, you are going to plant these seeds that are going to be provided for. Suppose it wasn't provided at all, there are people who are very willing. So if you're a farmer out there, or you are the son of the farmer, make sure that when these seeds are provided, you are able to plant. You're not going to sell it. These people are so weird. Like, you provide for them, they're going to sell it. And then back to square one, no food at the end of the season, no harvest at the end of the season, going back to, we are hungry, we need food. The government should provide us with food. It doesn't work that way. Make sure that you plant these seeds. Wherever a government or a county government does an initiative that can help a family or can help a community, be sure to embrace it, especially if it impacts positively on your side. Also, there are those sector that really needs improvement, like the farm. There are those seeds that make sure that they take very little time to grow, or they just take a very short time to mature. So the county government has gone to that extent to make sure that the seeds that they're going to provide is that variety that takes the shortest time possible to mature, or at the end of the season, everyone will have something to eat. So the county government of Trans Nzoia, the county government of the county government of West Pokot is doing something for the farmers. I want you to let me know if your county government is doing something for you. Have they given you anything for this planting season? Subsidy when it comes to prices of fertilizer? Because some of these farms, they will do nothing if there is no fertilizer. They will do absolutely nothing. Or actually, sometimes you find out that farmers have planted, but the maize do not even pass the height of a knee. So you can imagine, if your maize is not even long enough to pass your knee, How is it even going to make sure that, how is it even going to, you are not going to harvest? So it needs those supplements like fertilizer, it needs those supplements like a seed boost, just to make sure that you are going to get something when it comes at the end of the season. But without that, then we cannot really afford to get good maize. We cannot afford to get good. We cannot afford to get a good harvest at the end of the season. So it's very important that we really do something when the government is trying to do something for us, or the government is trying to do something for farmers, be it farm input, be it something that can be profitable to us. We are all going to embrace it and make sure that we are going to gain profit at the end of the day. So there is also agricultural sector say that some of these projects are just duplicate. The projects are just duplicate in some regions. So it's very unfortunate that people are just going to use funds from the government, and then at the same time they're not going to get back to the community because they are doing the same project. Because you find out that there's a time that projects come to an area, and then people embrace it, and then another project, a private sector probably comes in, and then that's another project. So it's very healthy, according to the county government, that we do not duplicate these projects. We do these projects differently so that at the end of the day people can benefit. If there is a project that is being done at a region, then another project should be different from what is being done there. So it's very healthy. It's a healthy competition when you are doing something different, but at the same time benefiting these people. And also, just to make sure that we do not copy paste the projects, it's very important that all areas should be reached, so that and this can only be possible when development partners, civil society and private sector come in together and then work together as one. We cannot, if they come together and work as one, then that will be very easy, because I might be having an idea and then someone else has an idea. That is her idea, this is my idea, but probably we are thinking of the same thing. We are thinking that there are those farmers who have just abandoned fishing. There are those farmers that have just abandoned maize production. There are those farmers that have just abandoned sugarcane production. So I am a private sector, and then there's a civil society, and there's a development partners. They're thinking, what if we introduce something else to those people? We are all thinking different things, but at the same time, we are thinking about a certain crop that can do well in that region. So this is just a duplicate of the main project. The first person was there, and then the project is duplicated. So there is no development, there is no improvement. Things are just done the same. So it isn't even effective, and it will not even benefit those farmers. And also, it will not reach people who are really in need. And also the last one, the control of budgets, but not before that one. Let's talk about the increase in the prices of egg. Like, it started as, there was a time an egg was sold around 7 bob. Actually, it was 6 bob. I remember exchanging it, but at that time I was a bit young. I remember exchanging it for something like salt in the local shop. I remember exchanging it for in that milling place. That one, for making sure that I get something in return. Like, we used to exchange it as low as 6 bob, 5 bob, 6 bob. That was back then. That was the cost of an egg. And that was a kienyeji egg, because it was in the rural area, and we didn't even know about the ones that we call the grade ones. Had not even like come up. So it was a bit back in 2000s. So we could sell these eggs at 5 bob, and not even selling. It was more for exchanging. You go to a shop, you want salt. So you'll give out an egg, and then you'll be given soap. You'll give out an egg, and then they will give you something worth 5 shillings, 6 shillings, and then it reached a time it reached 7 shillings, 8 shillings. We are excuse me, we are talking about kienyeji egg. And then slowly we started introducing the grade ones, the improved ones. We used to call them kukuza grade. So slowly it was improved. We used to have those ones, but not in the village. Now this is town. So the grade ones used to go even at a very cheaper price compared to the kienyeji one. So it reached a time when the grade ones now were the ones that were readily available. The kienyeji ones, they were not really available, or they could only be available in the rural areas, kule mashinani. So it wasn't easy to get them. So they started getting the demand. And then now we started with this, the grade ones. It reached 7 bob, 8 bob, and then it reached 10 bob. Now that was the standard price. The standard price was 10 bob, like 10 bob for an egg. And this is a grade one, 10 bob for an egg. Now the thing started like escalating when we started December, 12 bob. I remember 12 bob, 13 bob back in December. 12 bob, 13 bob, 12. Actually, it was 12 around November, and then that was a grade one, a grade egg. You could get that at 12 bob back in November. And then in December, it started 13 bob. So it reached a time, because the shillings no longer really work. So it reached a time that they could say for 2 eggs, for 25 shillings, 2 eggs. Now that means that they were selling at around 12 bobs 50 cents. So they could only get you, unless they're selling you at 13 bob, and or else they're selling at 25 bob 2 eggs. Right now as we speak, as you go to the retail shop, it is 15 bob, and we don't even know. This is not a kienyeji egg, because a kienyeji egg right now is going around I think 25 bob moja. So you can just imagine, like, if you have a family and you really want to have the kienyeji taste, you really have to really dig deep in your pocket. And having a kienyeji one, it's very different from the ones that have been improved. So if you really want to have a taste of a kienyeji egg, then you have to really dig deep into your pockets. Something that used to cost around 10 bob an egg, now it is around, like, if you have 100 bob, then you can only afford like 4 of them, and even maybe 3, because there was a shop I asked, and they were telling me it is 30 bob an egg. You can imagine just that small egg, that one kienyeji one, 30 bob. That is one. You have a family of 4 or a family of 3. How many are you going to buy, just to make sure that at least you are having just a meal? How many are you going to buy them so that you can satisfy the needs of your family? Like, life is really becoming very, very expensive. And even those people used to sell around 15 bob. Those people for my pasua, they used to sell around 15 bob an egg, and then it reached 20. Now it is 25, because they're getting it around they're getting it at around 15 bob. I don't know what a tray cost, a tray of eggs, because there was a time it was 300 tray, and a tray I think has 30 eggs, so it means they were selling it at 10 bob. But now I think the tray goes for around 350 or 3 something, and it is even increasing each and every day. And now that even the careful is willing not to take this eggs, I don't know if it's going to, is it even a plus to our side as a local consumer, or is it even another burden to us? Because things, the way they're escalating, and between now and August, there's nothing that is going really to change about anything, be it the prices of food, be it the prices of farm inputs. I'm not the one to implement these laws, but again, look at the situation right now. Everyone is so focused. Even right now, I don't know if something happens to an hospital, if people realize it. If there is negligence in hospital, I don't know even if people will realize it, because we are so absorbed into politics. We are so absorbed into things that are happening around us, and no one is even like willing to stand out for us. No one is willing to just say how much you're suffering. Okay, we start hashtags in the social media. We start lower the food prices, lower the farm inputs. After 2 days, the hashtag is gone. Nobody's talking. Those leaders are just exchanging words, blaming each other, blaming things. And we as a community, we as a country, we are suffering because of the increase. You can imagine the increased production of, that was the only thing that people could afford, because prices of chicken will shoot up, prices of meat will shoot up. Egg was the only thing that was remaining cheaper, and now that it has increased, where do we even run to? Because price of meat, I think right now it goes for around, depending where you are, I think, but the cheapest, I think it goes for, gone are those days that it was going for around 380. Even back in the village, I just realized back in December that we took, not that we really took a lot of meat, because most of my family are vegetarians. So it was just a kilo, and it was going for around 380. That is. So 380, this is a kilo, and this is back in the village. So you can imagine here, okay, let's say in Nairobi or in other major towns, maybe a kilo is going for around 480, and if it is that one for the goat meat, it is going for around 500 and something. And if you want stick alone, then it's going at a very high price. So you can imagine a kilo that cannot even feed your family, or a kilo that can feed your family just once, because it's not even that big that you can eat with your family and then get cozy and then comfortable and then you're satisfied. It's just something that you are eating once. You're eating once, and then you have to look for something else. You're just eating this meat once. Like right now, it is for supper, and I have to spend around 580 because I have maybe 3 children and a husband, probably. So a kilo is just enough. And then I have to spend, I've not counted the maize flour. That one will be an escort, or even if I'm eating with rice, which God forbid that I should eat rice for supper. And then maybe something else, because I cannot just eat meat alone. Like generally right now, those people they're spending over 700 just per meal. And with this economy, with everything that is going on, things have really escalated. So egg was the only thing that was remaining that we could really afford and think we are eating healthy. That was the only thing that was remaining, that we could think that we are eating healthy. At the same time, we are affording something. But now with the price, like if right now I have 50 bob, I can only afford 3 eggs. Not even 3. 3 eggs if I have 50 bob, and that is around 45 bob. And if I want kienyeji ones, then it means 1. I just have to afford 1 if I have 50 bob. The prices are increasing, blaming it on reduced production or blaming it on increased feeds. Everything is increasing. So I don't know if in the next 2 months we'll be able to afford anything, especially those people, the salaried friends, or even those who are not salaried, because you can imagine the salaries are still the same. Life has really, the cost of living is escalating every other day. Actually today, if you walk into a supermarket, get bread at around 55, the next week you walk there, it's around 57. These 2 shillings, it's really costing. And then the next time you walk there, it will be around 67. So the same thing to the price of petrol. You hear today it is this price, tomorrow it has changed. Things are just changing and changing and changing. No one is addressing it. Maybe it will be addressed after the general election. But how will we be surviving? Are we eating healthy, or we are just eating to make sure that we get something to eat? How many times have you just like really eat and then you felt like, okay, I've eaten something, and this something is really something that is healthy to my body. Like I've eaten carbohydrates, vitamins, proteins, all the three in one meal. When was the last time you even had that? Because the cost of living has really escalated and everything is really in chaos. But for the time being, the price of, I think they should work on the price of an egg, because that was the only, an only healthy meal that we were affording. And now that it has increased, then are we really going to afford anything healthy? Right now, if you see people eating a lot of greens, then it's not even like, and even those greens, like let's say vegetables, they are damn expensive. Like they are not even affordable. If you have to take kales, if you have a family of 4, then you have to buy for around 60 shillings just to make sure that you meet the needs of the 4 people in your house. Because for 10 bob, it's around 4 leaves. Just 4 leaves of sukuma wiki. That is for 10 bob. So you can imagine 4 does not even fit 1 kid. So you have to buy around for 60 bob just to make sure that you can fend for this family. The cost of living is skyrocketing. The cost of living is going up every other day. So, having said that, you can imagine the controller of budget the other day just released a list of counties that are really, that they overexpend in things that are not profitable to the common mwananchi. And according to the controller of budgets, they say that there are 13 counties that have, they name counties that have really been underperforming and even misusing funds. And misusing funds now that the farming sector is under the county government, then it's really worrying that these counties unfortunately do not even, those counties that the counties that have been named, none of them is in the list that is doing something for farmers. Actually, apart from Meru, so they're saying that Vihiga starts the list with a poor performance, followed by Samburu, Lamu, Wajir, and then Machakos, headed by the county boss himself. They're saying that they have spent so much on extra curriculum and they are not doing, like, they have overspent there and it's not really economical to the wananchi. And also Nyandarua, it has been ranked as a county that has spent so much on basically nothing, that they cannot, the funds that are not accounted for. Meru County has also been ranked among the 13 counties that are poorly performing. Muranga is in the list, Nandi, Busia, that is back in Western region, and then Siaya County, and then Kajiado and Garissa. These counties have been ranked to be the to have used funds inappropriately. I don't know, the counties are Vihiga. I don't know if your county is here and can you really testify to this? Vihiga, Samburu, Lamu, Wajir, Machakos, Nyandarua, Meru, Muranga, Nandi, Busia, Siaya, Kajiado, and Garissa. That the counties are not really performing. And if you look closely at this, county governments that have been named, you'll find us that there have been wrangles. There have been wrangles all through. Be it that one for wrangles between the MCAs and the county bosses, wrangles between those people in public offices. These counties, like farming sector, I can't see in these counties the county that have been really ranked well or have been spoken well about when it comes to farming. Apart from Meru that stand out when it comes to Mira production, there's among these counties, only Meru comes out strongly in farming because the production of Mira is very high from that region. Actually, it is the county that produces a very large amount of Mira. So in farming, it's not a really good picture because if the county government can be ranked as the one that is not is poorly, a county government that is ranked like it's not performing well, then it's worrying to the farmer, because this is a farmer can be just taken as a common mwananchi. A farmer is just a common mwananchi because This person is the one that has to wake up, make sure that the family is eaten, make sure that everything is going well. This is the farmer that has to make sure that everything goes well with the family, and when the family is well, the county is well. So if a county has been run as that one that has not been performing well, then it is very worrisome to know that these people, the county bosses, are not willing to incorporate farmers, or they should come out clearly to say why their counties have been ranked by the control of budget, why the counties have been ranked. Can they come out and refute the claims and say no? Can they come out and then show what they have done to the counties? Can they really come out strongly and say, okay, this has been wrong, we have been wrongly accused, and by wrongly accused it means they have to provide evidence. Can this county that I've mentioned really come out and say, okay, we are not to be blamed? The funds who are, if you guys see that it has been misappropriated, then we have channeled this amount to this particular project. Can they really come out, or they're just going to cover behind there and then, okay, like, these are just reports? Sometimes this report comes out and people, they're just reports, but those people who are down there, those people who are the majority of people who do not even have a voice, now they're the one feeling the impact. The cost of living is high. The cost of farm input is particularly very high. Rainy season is here. I mean, like every part of the country, because if I feel that rain is in Kajiado, I feel like rain is everywhere, because Kajiado is almost neighboring to our neighboring country. I mean, neighboring Tanzania country. So I think now the rain has distributed equally. I don't know if Garissa has received any rain. Maybe people from Garissa should check in. I don't know if it has received any rain, but other parts of the country are receiving rains. Can we really do something about rains? Can we really do something about these farmers who are there and they're willing to do farming? Can we support them? Can we do something? Is it just asking if they have a problem really help? Can it really help when we are just there and then asking, like, do you guys feel like we are doing enough? That is the Ministry of Agriculture. Just asking, do you guys feel that we are doing enough? Is your county government doing enough? Like, are we doing the thing that you think we should? Like, are we supposed to come out and then ask, or just do? Is it our work? Is it even, does it have an impact when they go to social media? How many farmers can really access social media? That's in the first place. How many people can really access social media? Talk about my county back in Trans Nzoia. Talk about counties like West Pokot. The network is so down. Talk about Bungoma, talk about Busia, talk about Kisumu, talk about how many people can access internet. Now that the Minister of Government has come out and say, like, do you guys have a problem? Can we help? And diversity in internet, how many farmers can really access that? How many? And how many comments are going to be there? Are they going to check comment by comment? Okay, what if all these people are saying, all these people who are answering are in Nairobi? Will they really know what is really eating that farmer who is in Kajiado, that farmer who is in Busia, that farmer who is in Teso land, that farmer who is in Trans Nzoia, that farmer who is in West Pokot, that farmer who is in Samburu, that farmer who is in Isiolo, that farmer who is in Turkana? Are they going really, is the internet fair enough? Like, asking a question about farming in internet, is it even fair enough to start with? Will we really access this information? Will the information that will be gotten there, the Ministry of Health, will the information that will be gotten there be accurate enough to know what is really happening in the ground? Wanasema kwa ground vitu ni tofauti, but again, is it really impactful that they're asking this question? As a farmer, you have a father back at home. Does he has access to internet? Back at home, just look, because all majority of people around here, around cities, are just basically from the village. Can your father, can your mother access internet? Can they? Are they literate enough to respond to such questions? You might think, and then you will get me the answer when we get back to weekend review next week, because this is a conversation that will be going and going and going. So for now, I'll stop there. Make sure you keep it AFarmers Media. Make sure you keep it locked in AFarmers Media, because there's so much. You can still watch this video. You can still watch more of these videos in other channels. For instant YouTube, you can still watch AFarmers Media. So you just go to YouTube, AFarmers Media. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you for always subscribing, and also make sure that wherever there's a video, make sure you watch it, so that you gain more experience, you gain more knowledge, and you also get to benefit in what we do here in AFarmers Media. Here in AFarmers Media, we connect, learn, and grow. See you next time when you see me.